Welcome back to Military's Radar channel. Here we will introduce to you 10 types of Russian weapons that were destroyed during the Russo-Ukrainian War. Number 10. BMP-T Terminator. It is a fire support combat vehicle designed mainly for armored units, which was created as a result of the experience gained during the wars in Chechnya. The vehicle is based on the chassis of the T-72 tank and is armed with two 30mm autocannons, a 7.62mm machine gun and 4 Ataka anti-tank guided missile launchers. It is protected by reactive armor supported by anti-cumulative shields, thanks to which the level of protection is comparable to the T-90M tank. It is powered by a 1,000 horsepower engine and can overcome water obstacles with a depth of 5 meters. So far, Russia has had about 10 Terminators, of which at least one has been destroyed. And although it is not entirely clear what type of weaponry it was attacked with, most sources suggest that it was Excalibur precision-guided munitions. Number 9. Cruiser Moskva. The origins of this missile cruiser date back to 1976, when construction began, and 6 years later it entered service with the Soviet Navy. The ship was intended primarily to engage U.S. aircraft carriers, with P-1000 Vulcan anti-ship missiles and 533mm torpedoes, but could also engage air targets with the S-300 Fort long-range anti-aircraft missile system and OSA-MA short-range missiles. In addition, Moscow was equipped with 2,130mm artillery, mounts, 6 30mm multi-barrel cannons, and depth-charge rockets. But the ship as a whole was heavily outdated as she had never undergone a major modernization. So much of her equipment was out of order or required service. Finally, the machine was destroyed with the use of Neptune anti-ship cruise missiles, which, hitting the ammunition compartment, led to a powerful explosion and fire, and ultimately to the sinking of the ship. Number 9. TOS-1A. It is a rocket artillery system based on the chassis of the T-72 tank, which was developed to destroy fortifications, manpower and lightly armored units. It is equipped with a 24-track thermobaric missile launcher, the effective range of which is 6 kilometers, and a full salvo is able to cover an area of 40,000 square meters. It takes between 6 and 12 seconds to launch all the rockets, depending on whether the missiles are fired individually or in pairs. And the entire system, apart from the launcher, also consists of 2 TZMT vehicles that are used to transport the rockets and reload them. The high mobility of the vehicle allows it to provide direct support to the fighting units. However, despite the armor of the chassis and guides, the launchers are exposed to effective enemy fire, which is why they most often operate under the cover of tanks. So far, Russia has had about 30 TOS-1As, while in Ukraine it has probably lost 6, of which 5 have been confirmed so far. Number 7. Orion Drone. This is an attack drone that is the Russian equivalent of the Turkish Bayraktar TB2, on which work began in 2011. He started his service 9 years later, and his task is to conduct reconnaissance and long-range air patrols at a height of 7.5 kilometers with the possibility of a missile or bomb attack. It is powered by a 115 HP internal combustion engine and a pusher propeller, which accelerate it to a maximum of 200 kilometers per hour, and its range is estimated at 250 kilometers at a cruising speed of 120 kilometers per hour. Orion can carry 200 kg of armament, which, depending on the needs, consists of air-to-air missiles, guided glide bombs or anti-tank missiles, and the Russian military has about 30 such drones, 3 of which have been destroyed. Number 6. Tor M2. It is a short-range anti-aircraft missile system designed to engage all types of air targets, from aircraft and helicopters to drones and cruise missiles. The system can simultaneously track 10 different targets and guide missiles to 4 of them. And in the M2KM version, as an independent combat module, it can be placed on any carrier, e.g. on a low-loader trailer, on board a small ship, a railway platform, or on the roof of a building. The projectiles fired are 3.5 meters long with a warhead weighing 15 kilograms, and their speed reaches Mach 2.8, which is about 3,500 kilometers per hour. Compared to the missiles of the previous generation, the maneuverability of the missiles has been significantly increased, which, combined with the vertical launcher, makes it possible to attack both targets coming from any direction, as well as land targets. The Russian Federation is currently equipped with about 140 Tor systems in various versions, while in Ukraine it has lost a total of 35 copies, including 2 pieces of the M2DT version, adapted to Arctic conditions. Number 5. T-90M. This is the latest version of the Russian T-90 MBT, which was first presented to the public in 2017. The existing armament was replaced with an improved smoothbore gun, along with a new fire control system and a remotely controlled weapon module, but also a new turret with a changed structure and reinforced armor, which is no longer cast as in the first T-90s, but completely welded. The other changes concern both the armor, which has been enhanced, with reactive armor modules on the hull and turret, and bar armor on the rear of the vehicle, and mobility, which has been increased thanks to the new 1,130 horsepower engine, with automatic transmission and APU generator. As of today, Russia has more than 100 T-90M tanks, and during the ongoing conflict, it lost 19 copies, 2 of which were taken over by the Ukrainians. Number 4. Su-34. It is a multi-role tactical bomber, developed on the basis of the Su-27 fighter, which was in service with the Russian Air Force in 2011. In addition to carrying tactical nuclear weapons, the aircraft can also be armed with 8 tons of other equipment, including guided bombs, air-to-air missiles and anti-ship cruise missiles. Has a speed of Mach 1.6, or less than 2,000 kilometers per hour, and has an armored cockpit that protects 2-man crew before shelling. In 2021, deliveries of a modified version marked as Su-34M began, which, compared to the previous one, differs in the possibility of suspending a new generation targeting pod, and a radar device that scans the rear hemisphere of the aircraft and warns pilots of approaching missiles. Until recently, Russia had about 140 Su-34 aircraft, but in Ukraine it lost 20 of them and one in the latest version of the Su-34M. Number 3. Alligator. This is an attack helicopter, also known as the Alligator, whose serial production began in 2008. It features several innovations, such as a coaxial, counter-rotating rotor arrangement, which makes the machine shorter and requires less landing space. And it also features ejection crew seats that allow you to safely exit a damaged machine if necessary. The helicopter has a whole arsenal of weapons, from a 30mm automatic cannon and 2 smaller 23mm calibers, through guided air-to-air missiles and aerial bombs, to laser-guided anti-tank missiles that work with the I-251 West Shkval targeting system, through which, next to the American Apache, the Ka-52 is considered the best combat helicopter in the world. Russia had over 130 Ka-52 helicopters, of which it lost 34 copies, and at least 2 of them were shot down using the Polish Pioran. Number 2. Su-35S. It is a twin-engine multi-role fighter, developed on the basis of the Su-27 fighter, which dates back to the late 1980s, but it was not until 2008 that the first flight of the machine took place. Compared to the prototype, the Su-35S is characterized by enlarged wings, empennage and air intakes, and also uses the latest avionics created for the needs of 5th-generation fighters, and engines with thrust vectoring enabling the so-called super maneuverability, which puts it between the 4th and 5th generation of fighters. The aircraft has a 30mm automatic cannon, as well as 12 weapon nodes on which rockets and laser-guided bombs can be mounted. And thanks to the radar that detects flying objects at a distance of 400 kilometers, it can track 30 air targets and guide missiles to 8 of them. Currently, the Russian Federation has more than 100 Su-35S aircraft, of which 3 have been destroyed so far. S-400. It is a long-range anti-aircraft and anti-missile defense system, developed as a development version of the S-300 system, whose task is to combat air targets ranging from fighters and strategic bombers to intercontinental ballistic missiles. According to the manufacturer, the S-400 can simultaneously track and guide missiles at 6 targets at a distance of 400 kilometers, and also destroy missiles fired from rocket artillery. However, as the experience on the battlefield shows, this is not entirely true. Because this system has problems intercepting GMLRS missiles used by HIMARS launchers. The first S-400 sets were delivered to the Russian Army in 2007, and only one of the 448 units in possession so far has been destroyed. If you like the video, please give us a like, share and subscribe to the channel. Hello and see you again.